Warning. Attention. Information about this case is taken from open sources of the internet. The author is not engaged in own investigation. The video is created on the basis of already existing information. The videos on the channel are of a documentary, narrative, educational, and informational nature. The author does not call for violence. This clear disclaimer sets the tone for the content, ensuring the audience understands that the material is derived from publicly available resources and is intended solely for informative purposes, while firmly distancing the creator from any advocacy of harmful actions. In 1991, 11-year-old Jaycee Dugard was kidnapped on her way to school in Lake Tahoe by Philip and Nancy Garrido. She endured 18 years of captivity before being miraculously found in 2009. On June 10, 1991, 11-year-old Jaycee Dugard was kidnapped just outside her home in South Lake Tahoe, California. Even with multiple witnesses, including her stepfather, the authorities were left without any clues about her abductor. The involvement of the FBI did not bring them any closer to locating Dugard, and for almost 20 years it seemed as though she would never be found. Philip Garrido had a disturbing history of sexual violence. The El Dorado County District Attorney's Office revealed that he had been convicted of multiple offenses before abducting Jaycee Dugard. In 1972, Garrido drugged and raped a 14-year-old girl in Contra Costa County. 4 years later, in June, he lured a 19-year-old into his car in South Lake Tahoe, then handcuffed and raped her. That same year, in November 1976, he attempted to abduct a 25-year-old woman, but she escaped and alerted neighbors. An hour later, Garrido kidnapped another victim and took her to a storage shed in Reno, where he sexually assaulted her. This crime resulted in a 50-year prison sentence. However, Garrido served only 11 years of that sentence. The parole board decided he was no longer a threat to society's health, safety, and morals. But months after his release, he visited one of his victims in South Lake Tahoe. He told her, "It's been 11 years since I had a drink." The victim reported this to Garrido's parole agent, who dismissed it, noting that electronic monitoring would be too much of a hassle based on the victim's concerns. With little oversight, Philip Garrido began searching for his next victim. The kidnapping of Jaycee Dugard. You need to hear this if you're a parent. On that fateful morning, Carl Probyn dropped his 11-year-old stepdaughter at the bus stop, just a short distance from their home, believing it would be a typical day and that Jaycee Dugard would soon be on her way to school. Instead, two strangers snatched the child and forced her into their vehicle. Probyn, still in his yard, witnessed the horrifying event. He jumped on his bike and pursued the car, but he couldn't catch up. The car disappeared, and the devastated stepfather immediately contacted the authorities. Sadly, initial searches yielded no results, and even with dogs, aircraft, and the FBI, they couldn't locate Dugard. Probyn and Jaycee Dugard's mother, Terry, separated a few years after the kidnapping, with Probyn stating that the stress of the abduction led to their marriage falling apart. Even years after Jaycee was found, Probyn struggled to come to terms with the events of that day. Reflecting on the past, he told the Daily Mail, "Maybe I regret not giving her more hugs." Terry's family believed I was harsh with her. They might have thought I was the reason Jaycee didn't escape from the Garridos, but I can assure you I truly cared for that girl. While authorities tirelessly searched in vain, Jaycee Dugard was being thrust into a new, grim reality 170 miles away in Antioch, California, confined to a shack in the backyard of Philip and Nancy Garrido's residence. They began calling her Alyssa, and Philip Garrido subjected her to repeated sexual assaults, leading to 2 pregnancies. The first when she was just 14 and the second at 17. She gave birth to both daughters alone, with the Garridos assisting without any medical help. Eventually, Jaycee's daughters lived with her in the backyard prison. Throughout her 18 years in captivity, Jaycee kept a journal. She documented her fears, loneliness, depression, and feelings of being unloved. Initially, she wrote about her family and wondered if they were searching for her. Over time, her isolation and depression made her yearn for any form of human contact, even if it was from the Garridos. On August 24, 2009, after more than 18 years, Philip Garrido arrived at the University of California, Berkeley with his two daughters, seeking permission to hold a religious event. During a routine background check, UCPD discovered Garrido was a registered sex offender on parole for kidnapping and rape. Additionally, his parole officer was unaware of the existence of his children. 2 days later, Garrido attended a parole meeting accompanied by his wife Nancy, the two young girls and a third young woman. Eventually, Garrido broke down and revealed the truth. The two youngest girls were his children, but not with his wife Nancy. They were the daughters of the eldest girl, known as Alyssa, whom Garrido had abducted 18 years prior and repeatedly assaulted. Her true identity was Jaycee Dugard. After 18 years of captivity, Dugard was finally liberated, and she would later recount her harrowing experience in her memoir, A Stolen Life. After 18 years in captivity, Dugard's rescue marked the beginning of a challenging transition period, as she had to relearn what it meant to be cared for and valued as a person. In July 2011, she shared her harrowing experience in her memoir, A Stolen Life, where she also expressed her frustration with the parole officers who for nearly 20 years failed to uncover Garrido's deceit. If you found this story compelling, please subscribe to my channel, give a like, comment, and share. I'm a new content creator trying to survive and maybe get some extra income. And thanks a bunch, and remember, sharing is caring. Stay awesome, folks.